Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sublimation Life. Today we're going to look at how we make the faux whipped cream toppers for our tumblers. I'm going to show you how to make the whipped cream effect. I did put some drizzle on mine with some additional beads. I will make a secondary tutorial if you want to follow up watching that after this, and that's how you'll get that extra pretty glazed look on there. But for now, I'll show you the steps and what you're gonna need for the actual whipped cream topper itself. So let's get started. The first thing you'll need is just any tumbler. This one I got from Hobby Lobby. It's a 16-ounce tumbler, has a straw and a lid, and that's what I made the pink one with as well. The next thing you're gonna need, and this is the main ingredient, is spackle. You can use whatever spackle you want. This one's from Walmart, but you can get it from Walmart, Target, Dollar Store, whatever you prefer. I do like this one just because it seems to work the best for me. It's not too dry, it's not too wet, it just works really well. So find one that works the best for you to get that look that you're going for. We'll need some kind of stirring cup or bowl. This, I just use a styrofoam cup. It's easy to hold, handle, and to stir into it. And then when you're done, you can just throw it away. If you do have a specific color you're gonna reuse, you can put it into a container, put a lid on it, and then reuse it for your next project. You'll also need some paint. I'm just gonna do white for the whipped cream. It doesn't need to be any specific paint, it just needs to be paint. So I'm just having an off-brand white here we'll use. You'll need something to mix with. I have craft knives specifically for my crafts. Don't reuse it once you've used it for your crafts. You'll also need a straw to put your whipped cream around, and this will create that initial hole in the whipped cream look. And the next thing you're gonna need is the icing bags for cake decorating. This is what we're gonna use to squirt the whipped cream out. A tip is not necessary, but it does make that fluffy, swirly effect. I don't remember what number this is, but it was one that looked like this here. And I just bent the tips out to make it easier to squirt, and it gave a really good whipped cream effect. All right, so we're gonna take our cup or container, and we'll take our spackle. Go ahead and take a little bit. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of mine. The texture, it's almost clay-like, and it looks dry, but it's malleable. You can form it to whatever you want. So we're gonna go ahead and just put a little bit in here. The ratio, just eyeball it, whatever you want. If you're gonna do a lot more whipped cream, do more. I tend to do about half of my styrofoam cup, but whatever amount you need, just kind of do what you need. I don't have an exact ratio for you. It just depends on what you're doing. Okay, so you can see in there, I have about half a cup in there. It's squishy, you can press into it. And from here, we're gonna go ahead and add our color. So if you're doing pink, red, purple, whatever, I'm just gonna do white. You can do whatever color you want. Be aware that you wanna go easy on your paint, because the more paint we add, the more liquidy it's gonna turn into. And when you go to squirt it onto your tumbler, it's just gonna kind of crash onto itself, and it's not gonna have that fluffy look. It's just gonna look heavy and clumped down. So just be careful. So take your time when you're adding, do drops at a time, and then add as you need to. With pastel colors, you wanna add about 1 to 2 drops, see how the color looks, and then kind of increase it from there. If you want a darker color, then double the drops that you put in. So kind of just starting with that there. We'll mix that around. I'm gonna add just a little bit more because I know how much I need for this specific project. But you just want to start with that little bit of amount, and then we're going to fold it into the spackle and just get it nice and mixed up. All right, so we have that pretty nice and mixed up. You'll see it's nice and creamy in there. It doesn't fall off, it doesn't separate real easily, but it does kind of droop a little bit. And that's what you want, that kind of creamy texture, but not watery, not runny. It should just be almost like really soft Play-Doh at this point. So from here, what you're gonna wanna do is put this into your decorating pouchy. And I got these from, I wanna say Michael's, and then I got the tip from Michael's as well. And then I'll just use a little cup here to hold the bag. You don't have to, I just like to. You'll put your tip into the bag first. All right, so you got that in there. You're gonna go ahead and just cut off this little part here, and I'll kind of show you an easy way to do that. All right, so an easy way to do it is to take your scissors, go right above the edges there, and then kind of squeeze, and then just rotate it around, and then it pops off real easy. And that way you're not cutting up too high, because if you cut up too high and try to push this spackle through, it's gonna blow your tip out. Ask me how I know. So just be aware of that. Don't put it up too high. Just cut right above there. And then you'll have a pretty easy product to squeeze out of. So let's put this into there. All right, so you have that. You'll just push it all down as much as you can, like that. Twist your bag. If you bake, you should know how to use one of these. And then it just squirts out like that. And then you'll drop it around your lid here. And I'll go ahead and show you how I do that. I don't use the straw that comes with it because you want to be able to use that straw. And I don't want spackle all over the straw I'm going to use. So we'll take this apart, take the straw out, set off to the side. And this is where the extra straw comes in handy that you've already used. I've used this one in the past. And you'll just stick it in there. And I like to kind of angle it off to the side. I don't know about other people, but when I drink out of my tumblers, I usually have it off to the side, not straight up. So I usually angle it like that. And just to get it to set into place, I'll squirt a little bit just right into the strawed area. And this part, I don't really care how it looks, just because it's gonna be covered up anyways. It's just to get the straw to set so you don't have to sit here and hold it. All right, one other really quick tip while we're doing this, if you want to have the domed effect on your tumbler, where it looks like it has the dome lid, this is a ornament that you can get from Hobby Lobby, the ones that come together. It's just the top part of it, and it looks like the dome. So you can also kind of measure. This is a almost 3-inch one. They're not exact inches for some reason, but this one fits perfect over this top, and you can see it'll kind of create that domed look effect. So if you want, take your straw and then kind of lift it up a little bit, and then put your straw down, and that's going to kind of measure how high your whipped cream can go without squishing into the dome when you put it on. You will need to cut a hole through the domed part to put the straw through, which isn't hard to do. You'll just have to take the time to do it. But that's how you make that domed look as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get our whipped cream on there. So when I do this, I just kind of hold the straw back a little bit. Again, it's already in there, but just holding it so it doesn't move out of place too much. So you'll just kind of go through, make a little base layer first for everything to set on. Just like that. I like to keep mine kind of on the inside, that way it's not falling over the outer part, but you can do it however you would like. And then I kind of just build up from there. And just kind of do layers just like that. And with this, you do want to work a little faster. With the warmth of your hand, it warms up the spackle, so it makes it a little bit more liquidy, which means it's going to kind of flatten down on itself if you don't go quicker. Not super fast, but just to give you a heads up and a warning on that. All right, so there we're going. And from here, if you are going to do the dome, you can check from here to see if your dome's going to fit over the top. And it does, so that looks really cute in there. So I'll leave it at that height. And when you go to put your dome on, you can use either hot glue or like Gorilla Glue, super glue, just very small around the edges. Set it on there and hold it until it's all nice and glued on tight. This does take about a couple of hours to set. I like to do several of them at a time and then let them set overnight. And when you come back, they should be pretty well set. You can take your straw out now or later. I usually let it set up just a little bit before I take it out, but I will kind of twirl it around here a little. That way it makes kind of a slight wider hole for it to come out of. That way the spackle is not glued to your straw when you go to take it out. All right, so at this point, I like to kind of start wiggling my straw out. And again, twist it as you go. And you should see, if you can see in there, there's a hole for the straw. And you just toss that. Make sure this sets up completely before you put your real straw in. That way it's not getting spackle down into the straw. And that is how you make the faux whipped cream toppers for tumblers. Very cute, really nice effect. If you want to see how I do the drizzle, I'm gonna have a video right up after this if you wanna go check that out. That way you can do everything that you want to do with these. And there's how it looks with the dome topper on there. All right, if you guys enjoyed this tutorial, if it was helpful for you, go ahead and boop that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share for others so they can get helped as well. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting.